that enslaved a wretch like me. You're here, I'm pleased, I really feel your company. Your style, your smile, your pace mentality. Lord, have mercy on me. I was blind, now I can see what a king's supposed to be.
Excuse me, miss. I was in the waiting room when you gave your testimony. And what I realized is that we have an enemy in common. While you were being called to the office again, I was being put out the only home I've ever known. While you were shaking with anxiety and fear over something no one ever wants to hear, I was shaking in dread. Because we all know what happens to little girls that have no home and no one to claim them. I think our souls passed each other by. See, my soul left me a long time ago in a dingy motel room, ripped away by brutal force. It fled, unable to find its way back home.
Historical people, who would you want in your seat and why?
Wow. I guess because I'm different. You know, I'm not really starstruck. And so it would be hard to really pinpoint anybody in particular. First person that just came to my mind, you know, I mean, if I had an opportunity to cut Denzel, you know, I would.
That's a good one.
I'd do that.
That would be a dope conversation.
Exactly.
How important is diversity in your work, considering you grew up in a bilingual, bicultural home?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very important. I think at this point, just in society, there's just so much diversity. You know, whether it be in language, whether it be in your upbringing, whether it be, you know, whatever that is. And so I think growing up in, you know, a bilingual household as well as really a bicultural, despite the fact that, you know, my parents are you know, both of Hispanic descent, but growing up in two different cultures of, you know, very traditional values in the home and very different, and sometimes similar values, right, outside of the home, but in different ways, right?
Yeah.
And so,
he tests those whom he loves. I pray he continues to love me till my death. I pray he continues testing me and testing me and testing me until I have no questions left. Until I can ingest knowledge and choke on lies and spit out truth with every breath. But you see, until love for what he loves and hate for what he hates is the only thing that's left within my chest. I know that I will constantly fight to love what's right because I was created with a heart that sits slightly to the left. But I'm okay with that. Because I always knew and always know that he knows exactly what is best. You see, he knew that it would only be a matter of time before I would open my eyes and finally realize that I needed to look deep down inside and pull out the divide so that my heart and my mind would collide and learn to work together.
Let's see. What's going on? What's going on, Forest Hill and Everman family online community? We are back for another fire episode. This is Ordinary Conversations with Extraordinary People with your host with the most, Willie Beeman. We are kicking off the month of May strong with a fire series. I titled it Business 101, aka Standing on Business. So I'm excited for this show today, y'all. We got some good stuff for y'all. We're gonna turn this into a whole cooking class here in a little bit. Without further ado, I definitely want to give this guy to my left, who I've grown to know over the past couple of months, during our dope programming. He's a dope guy and a dope chef. So let's get into it. He is a certified chef with 26 years of experience in the culinary world. He has also mastered the art of food and so much more. Opened and launched his first restaurant in 1999. Also served as a chef for the one and only Bishop T.D. JAKES Ministries. That is huge. We definitely gotta get into that. Outside of the culinary space, he has made waves in fashion, music, art, owning multiple clothing stores, and promoted concerts for legendary artists such as Biggie Smalls, Jay-Z, Nas, and Missy Elliott. That's huge, man. That's a whole nother side of you. Yeah. I had no idea, but let's get to it, man. Without further ado, online community, y'all put some hand claps in the chat for the one and only Mr. Chef Stevie Ray. What's going on, man? What's up, brother? You good?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Okay, how your week, man? I know you're a busy man.
Man, nonstop.
I always like to kick off our show laying the groundwork, laying the foundation of people's backgrounds, how they grew up, their childhood, where the audience get to know our guests personally before we get into all the meat and the potatoes. So just kind of take a moment, man, to share with our online community, our audience, where you're from, man, how you grew up, your childhood, and then we can move from there.
I'm born and raised down southern New Jersey. Well known, like Atlantic City, South Jersey area. Born and raised there. Between there, Virginia, and Paterson, New Jersey. So I spent summers up in Paterson, New Jersey with my grandmother. And I just didn't see this culinary world happening.
Right.
But, grandmom had a restaurant.
Wow.
So I fell in love with culinary by being her delivery
pretty
boy.
Much taking the plates and
just delivering lunches and dinners to family members and all her customers,
right,
which was in the neighborhood.
Wow. Staying in that space, do you feel like your grandmother was the inspiration, or who were some of your inspirations?
Definitely the grandmother. Community based. She was definitely more community based than anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having a beauty salon and having a restaurant right next door to it. She was a jack of all trades.
Wow. I see that from you. Yeah, I definitely see that.
So, and like I said, it just came natural.
Yeah.
So.
Who were some other, outside of your grandmother, who were some other inspirations for you that you looked up to?
Initially, it was family.
Family? Yeah.
Family. My uncle was my mother, my uncle, my grandmother, and my brothers and sisters was always there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we were basically like the Jackson Five. We were doing everything.
Right.
Just around the community and just wanted to stay active. We were all artistic. Everybody was artistic in the family.
Right.
So one was a DJ, one was a fine artist, one was a seamstress, So
yeah, I had everything. Everything.
We just had to do something. It's like, well, he's doing that, she's doing that. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Did that hustle mentality come from being around your family and learning different trades and skills, or where did that come from?
initially from the family.
Yeah.
But I would say just New York and Jersey.
Mm.
You know, it's just so fast paced.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I never been to New York, but I hear it's fast
Oh
paced.
yeah, it's nonstop. It's not a day in New York is the same. Every day, every minute is something different going on. You know what I mean? So after graduating high school, moving up north, going to school up in right outside of New York.
Yeah. Always
having to be in New York. You know what I mean? That's what did it as well, just to see things happening. It's so fast, rapid, fast pace.
Yeah.
So
what was the name of your grandmother's restaurant when she first started?
You know what? I don't remember the name. I was
real
young then.
young. Yeah.
By the time I came up, she was still doing everything out of the house.
Yeah.
Like the restaurant was closed, but the plates were still flying.
Yeah.
You know, I was more or less delivering the platters from the house at that time.
Right.
You know, so everything was shut down. She was doing everything, did the hair out the house.
Everything. That's where it starts, in the house. Yeah, I totally agree.
So yeah.
For you, what are some of those leadership skills that you had in order to make sure that you stay consistent in this culinary space? What are some of those qualities you feel like every chef should have?
Cleanliness. Cleanliness, but be hospitable.
I agree.
Be over willing to serve. You know, definitely want to be, you know, New Orleans taught me a lot too.
New Orleans. You lived there, or you went there a lot?
I actually went down there for like a junior. One of my my daughter was down at the Junior Olympics down there in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I went down there. It was like a food show, like a food festival, you know. I was blown away. Hospitality, presentation.
Yes. I think that's important.
It was the taste more so than the look. Of course, it looked very good.
Yeah.
But the taste was, you know, I was jealous. I actually left and came right back. I left New Orleans and came right back because it was just too much to grasp.
Right.
So between New York and New Orleans, and then Texas, man, that's all you need.
Staying right there, how would you compare, I guess, the food types in regards to New York's and the New Orleans and the Texas? How would you compare the cultures of food?
It's all different vibes.
Yeah.
You know, and they all uniquely have their own. So, of course, Texas, hands down, because I'm here.
Of course.
I was highly educated, New York, and New Orleans.
Yeah.
New. You know, everything new.
Everything new. I'm with you. I know you mentioned learning from family. You guys seemed like jack of all trades, from the cooking, from the culinary, from just different things that you guys did. For you, what else outside of the culinary world were you interested in?
I would say real estate.
Why?
It was a necessity. It was a necessity. From what I learned during the different recessions and the pandemic. I've been through a recession and a pandemic, and real estate stayed the same. You know what I mean? So retail skyrocketed.
Yeah.
We all got to eat.
That's true. That's true. For you, how would you describe your cooking style or your philosophy? What separates Chef Stevie Ray from all other chefs?
The number one thing, you ready?
I'm ready.
I buy my own food. I clean my food. I cook my food. I serve my food.
Say it again, man. You buy it?
I clean it. I cook it. I serve it.
Wow.
Where else can you go? And that same person brought it, cleaned it, cooked it, and now serving it to you.
Wow.
Because everything's done by someone else.
Yeah.
So no one can tell you about what they did, how they did it, when they brought it, how they cleaned it, how they cooked it, and then spoke to you and thanked you, served you.
Wow.
That's it right there.
I love it, man. I had to have you repeat that, man. I think that's very important.
Yeah.
I don't think you have too many people that does and carries all those hats when it comes to making sure that the people get quality food and quality customer service. So, yeah, I think that's important. Also, how do you stay creative and continuing to develop new dishes when it comes to this culinary space?
I would say the fusions, once you learn the palate, you can start mixing and matching. And then your creative juices just goes with what's happening, no matter what nationality of food I'm cooking.
Yeah.
It's got soul in it.
I like that. I like that. What are some of your favorite dishes to cook?
Man.
What's that specialty?
Number one is soul food. So I say I have this another launch. I'm launching another restaurant called Mexitali Soul.
Mexitali Soul. Where did the name come from, man?
Mixing it all together.
Together, yeah.
Mexican, Italian, and soul food, all in one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's on the way.
That's 2026. We're gonna launch Your Way Cafe.
Right,
we have
right.
a food truck coming.
Okay,
So
okay.
That's launching in June. Next month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Matter of fact, I think we're gonna launch it here. Right here at Forest Hill Library.
Oh, y'all seen it. Y'all listening.
Yep.
Online community.
Yeah.
Y'all heard it best, man.
We'll launch it right here.
Yeah, that'll be fun, man. I'm excited for that. You've definitely been here to support most of our adult programming and just programming in general when it comes to being that guy, being a chef, and bringing quality food. So we're excited for that.
Thank you.
We're excited. So you too.
Yes. It's a long time coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a team, or most of the work is solely dependent on you?
No, I have a team.
Okay.
I have a well-trained, well-oiled
machine.
Yeah. I got a well-oiled machine. And big up to my team.
Yeah.
And actually, they're holding it down now without me. So.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why I say we bought it, we cleaned it, we cooked it, we served it. So
I like that. I like that. Did you attend, I'm assuming, culinary school, or was most everything self-taught?
It initially was self-taught. I managed. Initially it was grandma, and I didn't think you can learn from tasting. But if you taste good food, all you're going to do is duplicate what you taste. So I was served some good food in order to duplicate.
Yes.
So grandma was first, and then the different various jobs that I had growing up. Had a lot of different jobs.
Yeah.
And then initially went out to culinary school.
Yeah.
And that was after I was a graphic artist first.
Okay.
I did magazine publication after college.
Wow.
And that's how I became an entrepreneur.
Right.
The magazine publication, the graphic artist was big money back then. I was making like $25 an hour back in like 80,
back in the 80s.
Yeah. Late 80s.
That's
I was
crazy.
making bank. Yeah.
So how much of an impact did the culinary school have on your success in this space? A lot.
You definitely want to be trained on what to do, what not to do, and definitely sanitation.
Yeah.
Sanitation is key.
Yeah, I think that's definitely important.
I tell everybody, cleanliness is godliness.
Yeah, I got you. One more, man, before we get to the meat and the potatoes. How do you handle the pressure and intensity of a professional kitchen? Because I know the field that you're in, it can be very intense based on the different avenues, venues that you have. So how do you manage that?
Experience. And when you're working around all your loved ones, if you love what you're doing, I'm not a hothead.
Yeah.
I'm more of I'm more of a coach type of a chef.
Yeah.
You know, so of course it gets hot in the kitchen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But you always focus on the end result.
Mm,
You know what you're trying to get accomplished, and you know going back and forth doesn't get anything accomplished.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Chef, let's get to while we're really here, so we can show this cooking
Yeah.
class and what you got set up for us, man.
Okay.
So let me help
Got a
you set up over here.
Little Cinco de Mayo.
Let's slide over here, man. What we got over here, Chef?
I'm gonna pop it off in 1 minute. You can take the lids off.
Let me help you move this over here,
All right.
my guy.
All right. Move that one. I'll move this one.
All right, all right.
Just need the utensils and that's it.
Gotcha, Chef. Gotcha, Chef.
Let's see.
Ooh, they look good, man. Where you need these? Right here.
Yeah. Let's make one for right there.
What made you want to make this dish? I know we
Well,
talked offset.
Yeah, May 5th.
Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
Talk about I know we talked offset. You mentioned serving Walmart and those staff. How did that opportunity come about?
It came about. You know what? I've done several different events for Walmart already, and they called on me to do that. And I've been doing pop-ups at Walmart.
Yeah.
So with me doing pop-ups at Walmart, it's just at the right place at the right time. Made the right call at the right time.
Yeah.
So they actually needed someone to come in and do a Cinco de Mayo set.
Okay. How did you build that relationship with Walmart? How did that connection come about? You been working with them for a while. You know
Yes,
people.
I have another partner. You know, when you connect with other chefs, one of my chefs partners have hooked me up with that. But, you know, they find other gigs for us to do.
Right.
You know, chefs work with different chefs.
Yeah.
You know, and matter of fact, it was Chef Rose. You know, it's my upper hand.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
So,
How often do you connect with other chefs? Do you learn from other chefs?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's still, no matter how much you know, if it's not something you do every day, you can always learn something from somebody else. So you can always enhance your skills.
Yeah.
By, you know, working in different atmospheres, different kitchens, different cultures.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta travel.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
See what's going on in other places. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, let's get to it, man. What do I need to do? Do I need to put gloves? I need to put a net on?
You know
what you need me to do, Chef?
You know what? All you need is a plate. You know? I'll do the quesadillas last. But I can let you have some of those rice and beans. You like beef or chicken?
I'll take chicken. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I guess before we get to it, kind of walk us through so the online community, the audience, to kind of know what you kind of put together.
Okay. So what I have here, I sauteed peppers and onions.
Okay.
And I slow cooked some chicken. And I have I smoked some brisket.
Okay.
And I made some Spanish yellow rice and black beans. And I'm making elotes today, so I have the corn.
Okay.
And I have corn tortillas. I have flour tortillas. I have cilantro, and I have chopped onion.
Gotcha. All right, take us through it, Chef. Take us through this. But how important is seasoning when it comes to different foods or food types?
It's real important. Like I said, what you try not to use is salt.
Too much salt?
Yeah,
Or salt in general?
Yeah, salt in general. Salt is like the enemy, you know. in the kitchen, salt is the enemy. If you can do without salt, the better. Because all the seasoning you need is technically is onions, peppers, garlic.
That's it?
That's it. Onions, peppers, and garlic.
Okay. Walk us through it, chef.
All right, let's check the temperature here.
What we got here?
Oh yeah, she's hot. Oh, we can do a quesadilla real fast. All right, let's see here. So when your quesadilla, what would you like to have?
Chicken. Yeah, I'm a chicken guy.
Chicken and cheese?
Yeah.
All right, no onions or no.
Oh yeah, I take it all.
Okay.
I take it all,
right.
sure.
Let's get it going.
So I also seen in your bio that you worked with the one and only Bishop T.D JAKES Ministries.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How did that?
That's every day.
Oh, they said. Oh, that's still going on.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I'm still there.
Wow.
Well, it's a big congregation.
Yeah.
And then we have about close to 300 staff members. So I'm at the corporate office.
Wow.
And TD Jakes Ministries is the corporate office. So
gotcha.
All the employees that work there, I feed them. Now, on occasion, I feed Bishop.
Yeah.
I did his 67th birthday party.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's huge. How did that connection come about? Connecting with him in the ministry.
Another mutual friend. They needed somebody there. They needed somebody at the corporate office, and you got to have skills.
No, of course.
You got to have skills.
You didn't go to culinary school for no reason.
Not for nothing.
Talk about, I know we had you here recently for our teen cooking camp, which we will be bringing back here soon in the month of June. So just kind of showed our online community how their process was. How did the teens learn what they took from it?
Man, they became chefs in 3 days. In 3 days, they became chefs. So the same thing that I'm doing today, this is one of the dishes that I had the kids make. It's almost like I call it a Mexican pizza. Because you cheese the tortilla as if it was a pizza, and then on the meat you just have to put meat on half of it, and then just fold it over. Cilantro, onions.
Oh yes, sir.
I'm gonna do the saute.
Yeah, go ahead, do your thing, chef. This is you, man. This is your lane. As you're prepping, I know you also started a restaurant in 1999. What was that process like? How hard and difficult was that back in those days?
Man, it was hard. It was, of course, I've done the retail side first,
right? And
then I think the retail was more of like show. It was retail clothes. So what I found out was you can't eat those clothes. During the recession,
right?
I couldn't eat the clothes, so it was like I had to come up with something else.
Yeah,
and which was food.
Food, yeah. Who don't like food?
Yeah,
good food,
right? So I had, as they say, I had help. I had my older sister there. My older sister knew of the recipes of my grandmother's.
Wow.
So I hired all my childhood friends' mothers, which was, one was Puerto Rican lady, the other was a Panamanian lady. And then every summer, the Jamaicans would come down as exchange students. So I had the Jamaicans and I had the Irish kids come down, Irish exchange students. So just wanted everybody to feel at home. I had an international buffet and grill.
Wow.
So
Wow.
take it and fold it over.
Do you still use some of those recipes that you learned from your grandmother, or do most of the stuff is stuff you created?
I always use my grandma's recipe. Believe it or not, I didn't believe that the mac and cheese would basically land me every gig that I got out here.
Wow.
I would say it was, and I named it after her. I named it Mother Mary's Mac and Cheese.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that for one of your favorite dishes, sides to cook?
That's the number
That's
one.
number
dish.
one?
That's number one.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and again, my sister knew all the recipes. I had been about 10 years old, 10, 11 years old when I was doing everything for my grandma.
Right.
And she passed away. And then, like I said, I just kept going.
Yeah.
Community
Continue that legacy. Yeah.
But I feel like I didn't know that my grandma was going to get me all these jobs. It's like she's always been there.
Yeah, always working behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Granny knows best, man. That's amazing. Ooh, that's big, chef.
Oh yeah, that's a quesadilla right there.
Ooh.
Bring my knife.
Let's get to it.
Let me know. Let me know.
All right, what you got? Cut this in half.
Yeah, let me,
What you got?
Yeah,
you probably do it like that.
Yep. You can probably tear it from there.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, y'all. Chef Stevie Ray, we in the building.
Okay.
Chicken quesadilla.
So I got a job.
I don't know about that shit. You gotta talk to the engineer. I don't know about that.
That's one of the things they ask. Let me know if I got a job. You either hired or fired.
That's good, man.
All right. How about trying one of the elotes?
I can test for that.
Okay.
That's good.
We got some rice and beans over here for you too.
Let's see what questions are. Got some more for you, Chef. Let's see what we got here. Of course.
Some elotes for you. What would you like on top of that?
That's a great question. What you got over there? I don't eat it as much as my wife loves elotes. What we got?
We got a little lemon pepper.
All right.
You know, you gotta have that
What's that?
Parkway, that little butter, little butter action. I don't know if you like a hot little Valentina action. Yeah. Sprinkle all that. You guys got any spoons?
Oh, probably in the back.
Gotta have a little lemon pepper. You don't want no mayonnaise or nothing, right?
Nah.
How about that cheese or some cilantro?
Cilantro. Yes, okay. Yes. Yeah, but while we're waiting on the spoons, for you, how do you handle food criticism? Because I know certain people are critical when it comes to what they eat, the seasonings, the type of food it is, the texture. So for you being a chef and being in the game for 26 years, how do you handle corrective criticism to make sure that you continue to grow?
Respectfully.
Grow.
Customer's always right. Customer's always right, and you want to take care of your customer.
Yeah.
You know, and you just have to be a calm manner and willing to give.
Yeah.
Willing to fix. You know, and then you got to get a full description of what they're allergic to, what they like, what they don't like, what they're willing to have. And for those that don't get checked up, you got to do what the doctor says, because he knows best and he knows your insides.
That's true. That's true. Yeah,
That's
gotta be
number
cautious.
one thing.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody's allergic to something, you don't want to, you want to stay harm's way from that.
Gotcha. Going back to what we have prepped here, nice display. Share with our online community, our audience, what elote is and what all that entails.
It breaks down to street corn. You know, it's just it's a street corn and the cilantro, all the seasonings. It's delicious. And like I said, I learned that here.
How do you prepare it?
Kernel corn, you boil it, and then you shave it. You shave the kernel corn down to the corn, and it's just a little butter in your water. So it's sweet corn, you know. So it's a process that may take you about 45 minutes. You know, you shave your corn, and then you just top it. You know, so it's about the toppings. You ask me.
The toppings?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know everybody eats it different, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what all goes in? Because I don't know, I don't eat it. So you got the corn, and then what type of toppings do you put in it?
It's normally hot sauce, and they have the lemon pepper, mayonnaise,
lemon pepper,
and cheese, and
Valentina.
Yeah, and then they have hot sauce Valentina too. And then you definitely have to use some of that cilantro. So
that's good. That's a good hot sauce.
Yeah,
Valentina.
Yeah, and they have both, and this is more mild. The Cholula hot sauce.
Gotcha. When was that defining moment to where you felt like you made it in the culinary space? When was that aha moment, the light bulb?
You know what? It's funny because you would think you when you make it to the point where you have your own restaurant, you think that this is it, and it's not. You know, you got to pay rent.
Yeah, you do.
And then you win some, you lose some, you have ups and downs. I thought that I made it when I didn't need another job. You know, when this starts paying your bills, when you rely on it and you show up.
Yeah.
You know, I knew it was it. I came from Jersey. I got a contract with the government in Virginia, and that same contract ended up transferring the contract from Virginia to Fort Worth. So doing it for, I would say 4 different cities and states.
Yeah.
That's when I knew if it was good here. And that's what we say back in New York anyway. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And it just turned out to be true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you got 26 years of experience, man. Yeah. So, yeah, that's amazing. What would you share with the online community, young men and women that want to get into this space? What advice would you give them?
Well, give it your all. Give it your all. Be 100. And just keep learning your trade and your craft. You know, listen. You know, and you're never too old to learn. You know, you have to work in multiple different kitchens to learn. You know, if you want to be an international chef, I wanted to be. My first restaurant was International Buffet and Grill because my palate was all over the place.
Right.
You know, I like Puerto Rican, I like Mexican, I like Jamaican. You know, I like soul food, I like Italian. So
Gotcha. We're gonna make a pivot now, make a change. In your bio, you're a man of many hats. So share with us what was the idea in the backstory wanting to get into the fashion industry.
Fashion is where I started. I have a sister that's only about a year and a half older than me, and she did she was real successful in the fashion industry. Gail Gaines, my sister, so she was real successful in the fashion industry, and it's just better if you have the strength is in numbers, you know. Same like soul food, soul food. You stick together, you're a mighty fist. You're stronger together, and she had it going on. I just had to find my own way, and I was one of the brothers that if you're going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do something different but similar.
At the same time.
As she was creating and making the fashions, I was selling the fashions. So I opened up a retail store.
Brick and mortar.
Yeah, we started doing a lot of the multicultural events, and the number one question they was asked was, "Where's your store? Where's your storefront?" Because the event may have lasted 3 days, but after those 3 days, it's like, where can I buy more?
They want more.
Yeah. So, one of the number one things I was selling back in the day was I don't know if anybody remembers Def Comedy Jam.
Of course.
that
of
Martin. We had the African American College Alliance, those sweat hoods. So I started out buying hoodies and those African American Alliance
sweaters. Yeah.
And then I ventured on to like Pure Player, Boss Jeans. I don't know if anybody remembers Pelly Pelly.
Yes, yeah.
Leather jackets.
Yeah, I remember Pelly Pelly.
Yeah. So, to land those type of contracts, Carl Kanai.
I remember Carl Kanai.
Skechers.
Which still exists.
Yeah. So, was it Fat Farm?
Yeah.
And then I used to hand select. They would call them, up north, they call them the butter leathers. So I was known to have the best leather jackets. So that's where I attracted like RODNEY JERKINS.
Okay.
Yeah, he did music with Michael Jackson.
Wow.
Mariah Carey. He did music with Missy and Whitney.
Yeah.
So, and he was right there in that same community.
Right.
So it went from fashion to music.
Yeah.
And I was really basically dressing a lot of the entertainers. They needed something for the video shoot.
Wow, that's huge.
So, like I said, a recession hit.
Yeah.
And went right back to something that I can make money with.
Yeah.
A necessity. Yeah.
How did you blend the fashion with the music?
It helped sell the clothes. My brother was a DJ. It made it easy.
Right.
Younger brother was a DJ. I used to book the entertainment to go along with him to get him well renowned in the music industry. So you bring down a well-known artist. Up north, when the artist was just launching, I would say like a Jay-Z. When we got Jay-Z, he was doing Ain't No with Foxy, Foxy Brown. So, and then we got Nas, he was with Lauryn Hill, and he was If I Rule the World.
Oh yeah, very popular song.
Naughty by Nature started it off with Hip Hop Array.
Yeah, I remember that one.
When they were launching, and we were up in East Orange at that time. So we brought the flavor from New York and up north down to South Jersey because it was two different worlds. And once again, it helped me sell my clothes.
Yeah.
I was successful with that and end up, instead of renting, I ended up buying my plaza. I started out renting one store.
Right.
My plaza was 4 stores. It was a corner property down there in South Jersey. So once I made that purchase, I had to find something else to do. I put for rent signs up, and at the time, nobody was biting.
Yeah.
So I knew what I wanted to do. The convenience store, International Buffet and Grill, and New Gear. New Gear was my clothing line,
Okay.
clothing store. So we were successful with that. Like I said, as artists come out,
Yeah.
take them to the stage.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to get them early when they're doing promos.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so we had a venue, and we had our storefronts. So they known us for everything.
Yeah.
So, but then, like I said, during the recession, the only thing was standing was convenience, and retail had by 2002, retail was kind of like dead. So, but they were still eating. So
Yeah.
I said that. I said, whatever comes out of this is where we're heading.
Yeah.
You know. So
Yeah.
and then International Buffet and Grill. We flipped International Buffet and Grill to Your Way Cafe because it was all about the customer.
Why the name change?
You know what? International Buffet and Grill was real long. And then normally when you say international, you normally have that nationality oversee that style of food.
I got you.
You know, so I got that from my restaurant. They used to call and say, put the Jamaican on the phone. I want to talk. If he didn't speak patois, they knew it wasn't authentic Jamaican. Jamaicans want to eat from another Jamaican.
Yeah. Wow.
And it was almost like that with the Irish community as well.
Yeah.
You know, they wanted the Lucasades and the Cadburys and, you know, the potatoes. You know, you hire the nationality to oversee because they know what they want.
Yeah.
You know, same with the Puerto Ricans. It's everybody does everything differently.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You mentioned earlier in the conversation being from South Orange, New Jersey, but also having business in New York. How important is a location when it comes to running a successful clothing brand? How important is that?
Very. Man, location. You know, can't say that enough.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be somewhere where you're going to get foot traffic.
Yeah.
Or traffic, you know. And right now, everything goes to like the malls. Unless you make a name, you know, you have to be unique. You have to have something fresh, and you got to be in tune with your customer base.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah,
got to be in tune, and you got to have a big ear because you got to know what they want. You got to nail it. And fashion today, they want to be unique. They want to be unique, and they only want you to do one of them. I don't want to see nobody else with this. You know,
they want it for them.
They want it for themselves. And in this line of business, you know, I need to sell 100 of these. You know, so in a small community, it doesn't really work well. So I used to get pieces. You know, I used to go to outlets, buy something for cheap, and resell it. But it was just one of this, one of that, one of this, because that's what they wanted anyway.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be unique.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. In the fashion industry, do you think having a brick and mortar or online brand is more successful? What you think is more successful?
Online. Online, you have a wider audience. And after online, I would say mobile. What I've learned in this industry, mobile money. It's just like instead of me having a brick and mortar, I got a food truck.
Yeah.
You know, because that brick and mortar is going to cater to the passer buyers, but then really it's going to cater to who's in that community.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree.
And if they feel for what you're doing. So I have an opportunity to move around.
Yeah. I think that's, being flexible. Being there, having the ability to adapt. I think it's more efficient. Going back to the music, some of the people that you've promoted for, the Missies of the world, the Nas's, the JC's, did you have a chance to meet some of these celebrities in person, or was it just
every one of them? I mean, anybody I spent my money on, we got a photo.
That sound like the engineer.
We getting a photo. And that, you know,
how was the
R.I.P. to Big?
Yeah.
R.I.P. to a couple of them that passed away. Who else did pass away? Somebody you said. But yeah, what were you saying?
Now, just going back to how were those interactions once you
Man.
met them? How were they? Because we see them on social media. We think they may be arrogant or closed in, but how were they when you met them?
Everybody was cool.
Yeah.
I had no issues with any of my artists. And things happen, but everything was positive.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't rich.
At that time, yeah, they were coming up.
Yeah, they were coming up. Like I said, I caught Jay on his second album.
Wow.
Nas, it was his second album.
Wow.
So hip hop. I mean, we're talking about '97.
Yeah, '90s.
Yeah, we're talking about the '90s. Yeah. Fat Joe was cool.
Fat Joe.
Yeah.
Talk about it, man.
Man, Fat Joe. You had to go up to the Bronx, pick them up. You pull up in the Bronx with a limo for Fat Joe. He just said, pull up at 560 Melrose Place. And you pull up, he right there on the corner. Like I said, he wasn't really that famous.
Right.
But big guy on the corner. He had his uncle, I think he had an Uncle Vinny with him. And he had his little entourage. We pulled up, we picked him up, and he says, he told me one thing. He said, you're responsible for me. If anything happens to me, they don't come for you.
Mm.
So I was like, okay. Yeah, because if something happens to him, he's going to a foreign place, technically.
Yeah.
He can stand out in the corner of his own neighborhood.
Yeah.
But when you're taking him from New York to Jersey, it's like, hey, if anything happens to me, they're going to blame you.
Yeah.
So I understood that real well.
Gotcha. All right. From our audience, have you traveled abroad to learn new cuisine?
I just got back. Yes. I've gone to Jamaica, and when I go, I'm very culinary oriented. So I've been to Puerto Rico.
Okay.
I've been to Jamaica. I've been to Dominican Republic. And then, locally, just coming to Texas is a culture. We didn't know anything about a jalapeno.
Wow.
We don't do hot.
You talking about in Jersey?
Up north, we don't do hot at all.
Wow.
So that was big. Just learning that.
Yeah.
And then the flavor that comes from it. Give you a little secret. Don't make no collard greens without that jalapeno. So, and then any Mexican food, that the juices from the jalapeno is just it's good.
Yeah.
Whether it's sweet or whether it's hot, it's still good.
Gotcha. Another one we have. What do you think about the chef TV shows with chef competitions? What are your thoughts on that?
I've been in one.
Oh, wow! Talk about it.
I love them.
How was the experience?
It was good. It's just you have to think so fast. Everything's fast paced, and you have to already know what you're going to do before you do it.
Wow!
And prep is real important, and it's all about you and your skill set, and it's only going to make you better.
Wow! That's cool.
I love it, because it's all real. And it's real food. It's not processed. And a lot of people got to get away from that processed food.
Mm.
So it helps. It helps the grocery stores. It helps the chefs. So it's a win-win.
Yeah. Gotcha. Do you plan on, I guess, maybe hosting your own type of show in that sense, or would that be too much for you?
You know what? I would love to have a show. Beat Chef Stevie Ray. How they had the Bobby Flay.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I don't mind going up against any chef, and respectfully, all for fun, all for charity.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you plan on, outside of that, putting together, I guess, your own, camp where people can learn the culinary, the sanitation, all of that, outside of what we did here? Do you plan on taking it to another level?
I definitely, I do. I want to show them how to operate a food trailer, a food truck, it can help everybody become an entrepreneur. Same with my staff. It's like I want to graduate everybody into their own distinctive trailer.
Yeah.
Because everybody they're good at something.
Yeah.
One person wants to do breakfast. Another person just wants to do bowls.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit all well rounded, so
yeah. Gotcha.
So, but yeah.
Yeah. What does it look like, I guess, every single day in the day in life of a chef? What does every day look like for you?
Man.
What is that schedule like?
You know what? Some days are super early. Cooking for the ministry. I actually cook for 2 different ministries. I cook for Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship.
Oh, wow.
And I cook for the Potter's House Church. So it's like, you better be ready at 2:00 in the morning. Woo! Because by 6:00, everything has to be done. We're talking breakfast.
Wow.
And then church is over at 11 normally. And right after church, you got another, you got to have everything ready. So it's all about your prep.
Prep, yeah.
Yeah, it's all about your prep.
Yeah. Someone else asked in the audience, is there a chef who you would love to cook a dinner for? I believe that's what they said.
Is it a chef that I would love to
cook dinner for?
Ramsay is like number 1 out here. Man, it's not a chef that I wouldn't like to cook for. There's one chef that I cook for that's on TV. I remember his name. It's a brother that's been winning all the competitions. He has his own place down in Maryland. I actually cooked directly with him.
Yeah.
I don't have his name off the top, but we'll put it in the chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll dig it up. But I worked directly with him, and man, when he did some fried grits.
Fried grits.
I've
never had fried grits.
Man, that changed the game. That did it for me. I was like, and like I said, you swear you know it all? Man, that brother did fried grits. That changed the game right there.
Wow. I'm gonna put a spin on this question. This is actually a reader question. If you could cook and eat dinner with 4 historical people dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Man, I think number 1 is Martin Luther King. Dr. Martin Luther King.
Okay, who else?
Oh man, everybody loves Michael. Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Let's see. Michael Jordan.
MJ.
Let me see who else is up there. Jeez.
Yeah, I know it's a tough one.
Let's see. Obama.
Obama?
Yeah.
Why those 4?
I don't know. They're influential. I try to tell people it's who you listen to. Who's our leaders?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, if you don't have a leader and you're not following anybody, you can honestly fall for anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I put Malcolm X up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, and that's mainly because I like that how to eat to live and that clean eating.
Yeah.
But again, it's just knowledge that I would receive.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Gotcha. From the audience, it is Chef Tobias Dotson that in Maryland, the guy who you was talking about.
Yeah. Tobias, yes.
Okay.
Man, he's amazing.
He's a beast.
He's a beast. He's a beast in that kitchen. And he's been winning.
Wow.
All the TV shows.
Yeah.
It had like a Super Bowl competition with all the chefs, all the winners.
Wow.
Yeah. Tobias, he is real good. And I worked with him right at the Potter's House.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh.
Who found that?
She found it. Yeah. Going back, what was the interest in wanting to become a, I guess, concert promoter? What was that? Where did that idea come from?
It really it stemmed from two things. It stemmed from my brother being, a radio mixtape DJ.
Hmm.
And, everybody knew DJ Clue
Yeah.
and DJ Kid Capri,
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, like I said, he went to school up in East Orange. I took care of my younger brother. And again, he wanted to be somebody famous, so we had clothes that we needed to sell.
Of course.
And then on the flip side, he wanted to become famous. So we kind of merged the two. So if you have a show going on, they're going to come buy clothes that look fresh for the concert. And then on the other side, my brother works with big name artists, so he would get bookings, and he'd be a well-renowned DJ.
Yeah.
So that was twofold. It wasn't to be famous as a concert promoter.
Yeah.
I was already famous.
So you're already famous.
I was already low key. I was locally famous.
Do you remember the first show you've ever promoted?
Naughty by Nature.
Oh, how was that?
Man, it was, well, we couldn't charge a lot of money because it was a promo. They was doing a promo tour. So it was really mayhem because doing it in a small town and them never having a hip hop artist in the town before, they were blown away.
Yeah.
So then they was like, oh, they're here, and I think the tickets was like $8 back then. And again, it's like, that had been like 90, that had to have been 95, and we could check to see when OPP was the hot song.
The hot song, yeah.
This is when they launched Hip Hop Hooray. So whenever Hip Hop Hooray launched, that's when we got them. But like I said, we went to school with some of the members.
Wow.
Yeah, he went to school up in East Orange, so it made it easy.
Yeah.
To connect.
Yeah. What was the difference between East Orange, New Jersey, and New York in culture, fashion, music, or was there some similarities there?
Very, very similar. North, East Orange, New York, it was still part of like the 5 boroughs.
Yeah.
It was actually 6 boroughs with Newark and East Orange, because it's just a tunnel.
Yeah.
It was a tunnel or a bridge away. It wasn't even 15 minutes. So the cultures was the same. Now, South Jersey was a culture shock from North Jersey. I mean, you're seeing these skyscrapers and these tall buildings, and then it's the ports. All that fashion was coming in, and all different nationalities, So
Gotcha.
Gotcha. Melting pot.
Yeah, melting pot. Another question from our online community. Mother's Day is Sunday. What special dishes do you have lined up for the mothers?
For the mothers, let's see. First of all, they're gonna get a discount. I'm posting a menu at 5:00 today.
Okay.
And it's two things. Some things you want them to go out, but if they really want my style of cooking and my food, I'm actually gonna be on Beltline and I-30 right there in front of Walmart.
Okay. Yeah.
So I got a table in the tent. So if they want my style of cooking, I'll post my menu today at 5.
Today at 5. Y'all heard it. Today at 5 p.m.
Cafe on IG.
On IG. Speaking of that, how can our online community, those that are watching, viewing, how can they follow Chef Stevie Ray?
You follow me on Your Way Cafe. Make it all into one word. Your Way Cafe on IG.
Gotcha.
Your Way Cafe on TikTok too.
Okay.
On TikTok.
Yeah.
Your Way Cafe 4. Yeah.
Gotcha. Another one we have. Do you have any plans on opening a restaurant in the DFW aside from cooking in the churches?
Right now, I'm going to do mobile.
Stick to mobile?
I'm going to stick to mobile until I kind of wear that out. Stick to mobile for right now.
Yeah.
Just want to do pop-ups.
Yeah.
But Hey, I'm easy to find.
Yeah.
Easy to book.
Gotcha. Speaking of, we just talked about Mother's Day, which is coming up this Sunday. What do you have planned for Father's Day? Do you have any special events planned for the men?
Not yet. Not yet. I do them one at a time. Not yet.
Engineer, oh my God.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not
Yeah.
yet. Okay.
I'll be honest with you, the guys are easier. Mom, you want to go all out. Pops want some wings.
So the men are simple, huh?
Yeah, oxtails. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pops is easy.
I gotcha. Also, you talked about earlier how you wanted to launch the food truck here at the Forest Hill Library, 6962 Forest Hill Drive. With that being said, you plan on doing the ribbon cutting here as well?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Much love to the library, man. The
Yeah.
library, it's the best library I've ever been in.
Wow.
Hands down.
Hands down.
Hands down.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess share while we're on that topic, what has been some of your, I guess, memorable events being here and working with us in our adult programming? What has been the most fun for you?
I would say back to school.
Back to school.
And of course the cooking classes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Man, the kids blew me away. The children are our future.
Yeah.
And the kids blew me away by catching it. I mean, I think what was the class? 2 hours? 3 hours?
Yeah, I think 2. I want to have 2 somewhere. Yeah, I want to have 2.
From kids that I didn't even know before, catch on to what I needed them to do in the different stations.
Yeah.
You know, it blew me away.
Yeah.
I've done music and mocktails.
Yes, you have. Yes, we had a fun time. Y'all missed it. Shame on you.
And of course, you know, the Librarian of the Year.
Hey, yes, the Librarian of the Year. My guy.
Yeah.
Michael Hardrick, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had fun doing that.
Yeah.
And that was hot dogs and hamburgers. You know, it was the fixings.
Yeah. Got to throw that in there.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to the younger Chef Stevie Ray? You've been on this journey for quite some time, got skin in the game. What would you say to the younger Chef Stevie Ray? What encouragement would you give him?
Consistent. You know, half the job is just showing up, being on time.
Yeah, we say that a lot. We say that a lot here. That's our mantra.
Just show up.
Yeah.
And ask questions. What do you need me to do? You know.
Yeah.
Be that servant. Where you need me at? Ask questions.
Yeah.
You know, and then and just do it until you master it. You know. You know, I'm telling you, once you find out what somebody likes and they give you those accolades, you're on your way.
Yeah.
You're on your way.
Yeah. I totally agree. Anything else you want to share with people that's watching, people that's listening? Any thoughts, anything, whether it be the fashion industry, whether it be music? And you're a jack of all trades, man.
No,
food.
I actually just did a combination all into one.
Yeah.
And the stronger one ended up being the food.
The food, yeah.
And I want to know who's hungry. Who's hungry? You know, where do you need me in your beautiful city?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Come to the library.
Yeah, please do. Like you said, come support the library.
Come support the library.
Come support us. How often do you travel? Do you go out of the country a lot, or is it mainly locally?
Now, with having my brand new passport, it's out of the country. It's out of the country.
That's funny.
I love to see the world. I want to see myself somewhere else, you know, and to see if I fit. But I try to do something at least 4 times a year: winter, spring, summer, fall.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. What are some places? I know you mentioned Jamaica earlier and some other places.
Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Aruba, DR.
Dominican Republic.
Yeah. I love the Virgin Islands.
Virgin Islands.
Can't go wrong. I want to go to South America. Of course, I want to go to Africa. Got to go to the motherland.
Gotcha.
I don't think I would turn any place down.
Yeah.
But I just like that warmer climate.
Yeah.
You know, I've been up to Hawaii. Of course, that's still the States, but I have a cousin in Hawaii. And man, that's a beautiful place. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So I got a bucket list.
Yeah, I think we all do. Yeah, I think we all do. What would be the difference in some of those places in regards to food quality from those places in regards to American food? I'm pretty sure the texture and taste is different.
That filtered water, the water, they're getting better now with filtering the water.
Yeah.
But that's the number one thing. If your water is not even clean, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you know, if your water's not clean, you better boil it. Boil it. You know what I mean? You know, but yeah, that's it right there. The filtration system of the water.
Yeah.
And you want to stay away from processed
food. Yeah, processed food.
You know, and that's good when you go to these other islands. You know, you're getting fish right out of the ocean. You know, so you're getting stuff freshly caught.
Yeah.
So that's the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Gotcha.
That's just back to what I said. They buy it. They clean it.
They clean it.
They cook it.
They cook it.
They serve it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We appreciate the chef, man, for
thank you
being on the show today, man. Today was great, man. Had the nice presentation for us. The quesadilla was great. The elotes was good. My wife would have loved it if she was here because she loves elotes. But we thank y'all, man, for tuning in to our series kicking off the month of May, Business 101, aka Standing on Business. We had a great show today with Chef Stevie Ray. Do me a favor, please follow him on social media, and outside of that, subscribe to the Forest Hill Public Library District YouTube channel. We will see you guys next week at 12 p.m. We will have Miss Jacory James Pugh, who will be on, who's an amazing woman and entrepreneur. Without further ado, see y'all next week. Peace.